also speaking about curries and cuisine of Kerala. Now, for those who don't know, those who are from outside the state, Kerala is a completely varied cuisine. It's very different from the rest of the country. It's this coastal cuisine. It's a vegetarian cuisine. It's a meat-based cuisine. It's a fish-based cuisine. Raghavan, you said you would speak about the Talasheri cuisine. Why Talasheri? There are so much of possibilities here, isn't it? So, what is special about Talasheri?
I thought of talking about Talasheri because that sort of characterizes the discussion we are having today. When you go from cricket to spices to curries, Talasheri stays as a common platform. When I say Talasheri, I mean the Malabar as a whole. But because cricket originated in Talasheri, I thought that will be the area from which you can start.
Wonderful.
Sir, as you said that it's a varied and it's an eclectic taste that the Malayalis have when it comes to food. When you see the landscape, you find it dominated by rivers of fish, rice, coconut. So you'll expect that the food habits will linger around the rice, fish and coconuts, but that's not so. Probably that is because of the fact that Keralites have been in touch with the outside world from time immemorial, trading of spices. So if you look at it, you look at the North Kerala cuisine, you have something called the biryani which has come in. Of course, biryani is now that's universally known. People all over the country, maybe all over the world take it. But what happens is that this is essentially a Persian dish which has come to Kerala from very olden times. And it's a mix of the Arab cooking and the Kerala spices, which is what makes the Talasheri cuisine so unique. Find the sort of rice that is used there is not the basmati rice, it's something called the kaima rice. It's a smaller sort of variant of rice. So this is what makes it unique. So you have a very meat-based cuisine which comes out of that place. You have delicacies made out of egg, muttamala. You have delicacies made with sweets, unnakai, made out of banana. And most importantly, it is Talasheri which has given us the first top-class bakeries in the state. As a child growing up in Cochin, I was born and brought up at Cochin Bakery. So I'm sure you would also remember that shop which was there on the MG Road, a landmark thing. I thought that everyone else got the same quality cakes as we in Cochin were privileged to get. It was only when I went to Calicut I found that no, it's a privilege that is not given to many. Till Cochin Bakery opened their branch in Calicut. So cricket and cakes are sort of the contribution of Talasheri for the rest of the state, along with the fact that you get a mix of the Arabian food with the Kerala spices added to it. Look at it, the biryani is more popular, or the varieties of biryani in Talasheri, then there's a slightly different and distinctive biryani which is there in Calicut. Well, it must be a sort of a flavor that is different, but both are extremely tasty. When you come to Calicut, you have something called the halwa, sweet meat. So when I was looking for a name for my book, which is based on Calicut, I did not have to go further than Calicut halwa. That's the unique taste there's even a sweet meat street in Calicut. It sells the various sorts of halwa. When you come further, you'll see a place near Cochin, very near to Parur called Manyali, which is also famous for biryani and halwa. So this again shows that Malayalis or Keralites rather, they are very accommodating as far as food is concerned. They are willing to experiment and try out. And when you come to Central Kerala, sir, as you said, the beauty of the Syrian Christian cooking, as you call it, the mappas, the molis, the stews, they all come in. Appam, idiyappam, and we have the traditional Kerala Sadhya also. So it's in Kerala Sadhya, you have, as you said, the thoran, which is any vegetable which is well sort of made with coconut, it becomes a thoran. You have aviyal, you have erisheri. You have something called olan, which I haven't seen a version of olan in any other cuisine anywhere else in the country. So, and we have breakfast. You mentioned about putta. You have idiyappam, another this thing. You can have it with plantain, you can have it with kadla, and it's seen as a perfect thing. This putta kadla is considered by the dietitians as a perfect combination. You have proteins, you have the carbs coming in, so it's a perfect meal. So that, and finally, sir, in the 1950s, I am told by my father that there used to be a restaurant called Chinese restaurant in Cochin. Those days there are hardly any Chinese here. And when the 62 war happened, it changed its name to Malaya restaurant. Old timers will remember the Malaya restaurant just next to St. Albert's College in Banerjee Road. Almost everyone had their first meal during those ages at the Malaya restaurant. That can be called as the flag bearer for the new varieties of all the Chinese restaurants that are found up all over the state. And that shows that the food habits are quite eclectic, willing to experiment, and that's why we are a host to a great, varied type of cooking and cuisines throughout the state.